What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Discussion Lounge podcast. It is January 20th, 2022. Hope everybody is having a great new year. I know Discussion Lounge has actually been off for a bit, but we are back and we have some awesome guests that you might have seen before. Twice. This might be the third time that we have them on because we have new developments on what we've been discussing with Tavina here and Susie in the past regarding the KIPP private school system trying to build a private school on toxic land that happens to be in the city of Cudahy, the city where I grew up in, where I went to school, I graduated, and you just recently in the last couple of years moved out, and I'm an earshot away from it. So, I definitely care about what happens in that community, which is why I've been having Susie and Tavina and a lot of other people from from the movement on to discuss the issue going on. So today we actually have a special guest, which is Elise, who has taken on the case and helping out the little guys. So we appreciate you being on today. Tavina, what can you tell us about what's been developing? I know the last time we spoke, you were talking about just barely getting off the ground with litigation. And now we're here. We have representation with Elise. So what's going on now?
So we've actually been fighting for quite some time, and just on January 13th, the Los Angeles Superior Court Judge Mary H. Strobel ruled that the city of Cudahy, um, I think it's better if Elise tells us. I have the information down, but she was there. She was, in front of the judge, and I think that she couldn't explain it just a little bit better than I can.
Okay, Elise, then the floor is yours.
Okay, I'd be happy to. So, thanks so much for having me on. It's such a pleasure to be here, and it's been such a pleasure to fight with and alongside Tavina, Susie, and some of the other amazing community members and activists with Cudahy Alliance for Justice. This was definitely has been a team effort with Kaj doing work on the ground and me and my team doing legal work with the court and with the lawyers from the other side. So it's been an amazing group effort to get us this far. So on the 13th, we got a final ruling in our case from the judge, the Honorable Mary Strobel. And what she ruled was that the city of Cudahy violated California environmental law when they didn't do a thorough environmental review of the KIPP project. So, as I'm sure you guys have talked about, the KIPP project it essentially proposes an elementary and middle school. We're talking TK to eighth grade on a hazardous waste site where KIPP's own consultants say that there's 200 times the amount of arsenic that is deemed safe by the state of California for residential areas. There's a high likelihood of lead and asbestos, and there's what's called volatile organic compounds in the soil because it was used, as you guys know, as a metal foundry for a long time. Now, the judge looked at all the information and found that the city basically didn't follow the law when they said, oh, this is fine, we're just going to approve it and go along here, which is a huge win for Kaj and for the community because it means that the city, all the approvals the city has given to the project are no longer valid. And
Amazing.
so, yeah, it's great. We're really excited about it.
Wow. So, Tavina, going forward, what are you looking for now? So, I mean, well, at least you can answer this too, or Susie. So yeah, what happens now?
So we talked, as Cudahy Alliance for Justice, and we are going to continue to go to council meetings. We're going to continue to fight. We're going to continue to make the city of Cudahy hold them accountable for the cleanup because just because they ruled it doesn't mean that KIP's going to want to do it.
Right.
So we really have to be diligent and make sure that the city council is on them and is as um yeah, they want to see them clean up the site like we do, so we have to push them, we have to keep on pushing them.
So, on that note, I mean, wasn't it the city council itself that allowed this in the first place?
Yes.
Yes.
So then, in that, at least, is the city council like, are they subject to any kind of, reprehension or anything?
Yeah, so the way that the law works, the court can't tell the city to exercise their discretion in any way. They can't say, city, you have to decide X, Y, and Z before they've done anything.
Mm-hmm.
What they did tell the city that they have to do is they have to look at the project under what's called the California Environmental Quality Act, and that's what we call CEQA. And under CEQA, it's very clear about the procedures that you have to follow to analyze the impact that projects are going to have on the environment and the community and ensure that there's public participation in the process. So under CEQA, they have to take a look at the site, at the potential hazards, and they have to do what's called an initial study, which is an analysis of everything. Once they do that initial study, what they should do is decide to do what's called an environmental impact report, which is a comprehensive review of all the environmental impacts that will happen from the site.
Mm-hmm.
And here, we have toxins in the ground. We have toxic gases in the ground. And they're proposing a school that's right across the street from residential areas and from parks. So what they need to do is they need to look very carefully at that. And an environmental impact report has to require typically mitigation for environmental hazards. In this case, it'd be cleanup. And they really need to do the right thing here. They need to do an EIR, they need to require cleanup, and they need to require that the Department of Toxic Substances Control, which is the state agency that's responsible for making sure that it's done right, has oversight and follows up on this so that they do the right thing and they clean it up so that it's sufficiently safe for kids and for the community.
Right. So when looking into like KIPP's practices, were you able to find that they've kind of like had to go through this process before and kind of just like are able to bypass it through whatever means and still get their school put up?
So essentially they tried to bypass the process, and that's what the lawsuit was about, was saying you're not above this, you're not above the law,
Mm-hmm.
you have to follow this process.
Okay.
So but we do need to hold it to them and hold them to their responsibilities and the city to their responsibilities in the next step of the process. Unfortunately, the fight's not over, and we're going to need a lot of support from the community and from allies to come out and tell the city, hey, you have a responsibility here, and tell KIPP, you have a responsibility to our community and to the kids that you serve. You need to either leave, or if you don't leave, you need to do an environmental impact report and you need to agree to clean up with oversight from DTSC. These are the only way that we're going to make sure that this is safe for our kids, the community, and the environment.
Awesome. So yeah, as soon as I heard this, I'm like, yo, this is like a huge win, right? Because it feels like young people need like an example of how working hard and like if you just have an objective and you see injustice, you can, band together, you can, try to do what's right and you can get results, right? We're seeing results now. So yeah, this is amazing and like I said, I give all the credit to the Cudahy Alliance for Justice, to everyone who's been part of it. And yeah, this is amazing to see. So now, Tivina or Susie, now that you guys have gotten this big win, have you been able to see like the reaction maybe from some of the residents towards the towards the council and how why they allowed this to happen in the first place?
Go ahead, Susie.
Sorry, I was trying to get my microphone on.
No, no
Um,
problem.
yeah, I mean, I haven't seen it personally, like especially from the Teresa Hughes community, who's right across the school. But we've been told that everybody's very happy of the outcome. We always had their support. parents and teachers there and staff from the school from Teresa Hughes, and not just Teresa Hughes, but the other schools that are in the area as well. We also had support from extended community members like from East LA, even as far as West LA. So we had support from all over. Um, and and then as far as our council is concerned, well, we just had our first after we had our first council meeting after the ruling, and
Hmm.
you can bet that we were there. We were there, and we let them know. We reminded them of what the ruling was and what their responsibility is. So, but how it is with, I'm sure Ellen, how it is with our council members. Unfortunately, we don't have the support of all of them, but we are putting the pressure, because this is not just up to us. It wasn't just what we wanted,
Hmm.
but it's a ruling now. We got it. It's a legally binding decision, that they have to follow through, whether they agree with us or not. And so we're not giving up. We're continuing the fight, and we're going to continue with the pressure. So, but we've put on so much pressure at City Council that we also made them and forced them to make some changes to some procedures and processes that the city had, because they know we weren't going to back down unless they did it. So some of they we managed to get city council to make some minor changes as well, not just this issue with KIPP, but just other things that involve it. So we were successful. So in other things as well, but this is a major success.
That's awesome. I congratulate all of you for that. And still amazing to see that. I mean, just not amazing, but like extremely frustrating to see that even after like a legal ruling, you still can't get the full support of these people that are in the excuse me, that are in the council. You know, like it should be a open and shut. Like, yo, they're trying to build on toxic land. Yeah, don't do it. Obviously, right? And I don't understand like what the pushback is there. At least I want to see like you do you come across cases like this where it's just like um, well, what made you want to take this case?
I mean, this is pretty egregious. You look at the data, and this Cudahy is a community that's 95% Latino.
Mm-hmm.
It's in the 97th percentile of communities most impacted by pollution in California. Cudahy is only 1.2 square miles, and there are 30 hazardous waste or cleanup sites there. There are 2 schools within that
Mm-hmm.
1.2-mile radius that are either on top of, you all know about Park Elementary, that are
Yes.
either on top of or adjacent to hazardous waste sites. This is completely unacceptable, and it's absolutely an environmental justice issue. This would not have happened in West LA. And it is absolutely unacceptable that the city council and that KIPP thought it was permissible to come into this community, KIPP in particular, and put the community and children here at risk. I've been passionate about this case from day one. I've been motivated and, just admired Kaj and their work, and Tavina and Susie and other community members work from day one. And it has been an absolute honor to be part of this fight and to advocate on behalf of them and on behalf of Cudahy. This is why I practice law.
That's amazing. We thank you so much. Like you mean, like I said, being a resident from there from so long, growing up there, having family there, a lot of memories there, and it's a special place. It's a very small, special place that we belong to, and um, I'm happy to see that people will stand up to protect it, and even people that are not from there like you. So yeah, I definitely appreciate you for that. And yeah, Tavina and Susie, what else can you add here before I really don't have much to add. I kind of just wanted to do like a victory lap with you guys, and so people know what you guys are up to, and how successful you've been with your push. So we all thank you, and I hope that everybody acknowledges you guys for what you've been up to. And yeah, if you want to add anything else, what are the next projects, or if you have any rallies coming up, or if you need people to come out to the council meetings, let the people know.
I think that um I mean, we're so grateful for Elise, because without people like her, we wouldn't have won, and we wouldn't have even had a chance. We learned so much going through this process. And I think all of us in Cudahy Alliance for Justice, we came in not knowing anything. And we're not leaving because we're still here. But, to this point, we've gathered so much information, and we know a lot more, which is awesome, because now we can help in other aspects of the community. So like we said, we're not gonna stop the fight, and even after this whole ordeal with KIPP is over, we still have a lot of other issues to tackle. And like I said, hopefully the community sees other communities, also small communities, big communities, that just because you're small and overlooked doesn't mean that you can't win, because
Hmm.
this victory is large for us, because we're such a small community. And again, I just want to thank you, Elise, for all of your hard work. And nobody knows except for us the struggles. And thank you so much.
It has been my pleasure.
Susie, go ahead.
Yeah, can I add something to what Tavina said?
Of
Everything
course.
Tavina says, she's right. But if it wasn't for Elise, she's really amazing. She guided us. She also helped educate us, because there was a lot um, on those reports, that those initial reports that KIPP had, that they had prepared. And we didn't understand everything, but it just didn't look right. So we
Hmm.
learned a lot. But at the same time, it was hard to find an attorney that was willing to take our case, that was willing to take a chance with us, because it was just us, the community, and we really don't have any money. So we did a lot of, other than just rallies and flyers and protesting, we also had to do fundraisers. We
Hmm.
also had a GoFundMe page. And so we done everything, or we did everything that we possibly could to ensure that we follow through on our commitment with Elise, because having an attorney is not
It's
um,
you don't have to encourage it.
so we she saw how we were working, and I'm sure that that's part of the reason too why she continued to stay with us, because we even we weren't going to give up on the fight against KIPP, but we were also not going to let Elise down with what we need to pay, our not on our financial obligations as well. So just wanted to say that we are happy. We are, I don't know how else to put it, but we are not going to give up, and we're going to continue putting the pressure on KIPP and City Council, and we're not backing down. And just nobody should back down. It's a community together is more powerful than anything, and that's what we had. We had a community that was united. So that's just what I wanted to say.
No, absolutely, and I think that it's like a huge, huge lesson, like I said before, because like Kip isn't like just like like your run of the mill like next door company, right? They're like a titan, right? Like these people receive private funding from a lot of places where they can take care of lawsuits whenever, and just they have it like that. And a place like Cudahy to get a win over a company like Kip, I think is amazing, and should show anybody in the community that if you see injustice, rally the troops, right? You guys rallied the troops. You did what you had to do. of course, Elise wasn't free. No lawyer is free. But if they see that you're passionate about your case and you're gonna help them along the way, just the way that they're gonna help you, they'll be more inclined to take the case, right? And especially like we're talking about kids that are going to be possibly exposed to a school that in the long run could cause them very serious health problems, right? And Elise having kids, right? She mentioned earlier that her kids are running around. She doesn't want her kids to go to a school like that, right? So I believe that she doesn't think that anyone's child should be exposed to that kind of risk, right? So for anybody out there, man, in Cudahy, especially the small place that we are, you know rally the troops if you feel passionate. Follow this endeavor that's going on. Like they need help, right? So hit them up. You can do anything for them. There's a lot of people out there with skills that maybe you're not using, and you can lend those skills to a project like this that not only you'll be useful to the community, but that you're making a change as well. So I just want to thank all of you so much for coming on. Elise, Tavina, Susie, I appreciate so much everything that you guys have done, and I've been following everything you guys have been doing. And I love to spread the word on what has been happening. So thank you so much for coming on to the discussion lounge, and I will let you enjoy the rest of your night.
Thanks, Alan.
Hmm.
Alan, may I jump in with two kind of tangible things that people can
Yeah, of
support?
course, of course.
Okay, so the fight is not over. We've got to push City Council to do the right thing and hold KIPP accountable. We need to tell them that we do not want them in the Cudahy community. And if they're here, they need to do a full environmental impact report, and they need cleanup and oversight from DTSC. So you can follow Cudahy Alliance for Justice on Facebook. There's a sign up for their listserv, for their email list, so that you can figure out when it is time to push the city council, when it's time to write letters to KIPP. We're going to need the community to rally. Kosh has done so much and carried this weight through this litigation, and the community has done a great job coming out and force to the city council meetings, but there will be more. So please follow Cudahy Alliance for Justice. They'll keep you posted, but we are going to need you to come out and use your voice to stand up to this project in the next phase of it.
Absolutely. We're gonna post that link, and Tavina knows whenever she has a flyer for anything, she could let me know, and I'll post it on our discussion lounge and my own personal Facebook and my socials and all that. So thank you very much for all the info, and yeah, thank you so much again, and have an awesome night, ladies.
Okay, thanks, guys.
Helen.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody.